Okay, so what's up there, guys? Welcome back to Digger Detecting. Welcome also to a pretty cold, mild morning out on the detector. That's okay though, because look at that, we've just walked through the gate off the road there. We are running the Equinox 800 and the little baby's hand, a 6-inch sniper coil, and bingo, we've got ourselves our first coin right beside the old tennis courts. We've also got the hall on the other side of the tennis courts, and as I said, we are in the pub paddock too. We had a pub just sitting past that fallen down tree over there and a church in front of it. So phenomenal little area to hunt. I was going to go somewhere else today, however the grass was extremely long, so we ended up here instead, and I'm glad I did, because bingo, we've got our first penny, a beautiful old Commonwealth of Australia, a full 1 penny, and as I said, we are going over to the pub to try and hit on a few more. I've got that little 6-inch coil on today, and my idea and my plan for this site is to dig out every single signal that comes through that machine. We're not going to be running 18 to 40 today, we're just going to be running that horseshoe button and digging everything, or mostly of everything, probably not a lot of the rusty signals, however everything coming in at those lower numbers, and see what comes of it, because this paddock here is full of history. We've had some wonderful finds over the years. We've got the rec reserve there, the hall there, as I said, tennis courts, the pub sitting down past that tree, and the church the other side of it. So a phenomenal little area full of history, and let's see if we can't hit on a bit more of it today, shall we? So there it is, our next target as we make our way away from the tennis courts over there. We just started the video over in that top corner there, and walking over to the old pub site, I got a signal which was an 8 and a 9 on the Equinox 800. Remember, we are digging those lower numbers today, and look at that, I dare say that was pub related. The old spoon here, so nothing else ever was in this paddock right here, just an old pub. I fancy that too, having a pub right here and a church just over in the background there. So just amazing though. We've had some great finds out here over the old pub, church, hall, recreation reserve, tennis courts. There is just a wealth of history out in this area, as I said, and only a very little town too, so quite surprising. Anyway, that one can go in the pouch. What a bloody ripper, our first pub find, and hopefully plenty more to come. Rightio, so you'll never guess what I just popped out of the ground. Bingo! We've got a beautiful old coin sitting there. But before I show you, let me just explain a little bit of history on this pub site, which we are standing directly on top of right now. So basically the original road, as you can see the church there, the original road splits off there, and it used to run right up past here, past the front of the pub. So the pub would have been fronting this road, and all the passing traffic coming past would have jumped in the pub here for a drink and to refresh their horses, what have you. And then in later years, what sort of killed this pub, in later years the road split off and the main road was basically shot off in that direction. So the pub was facing the wrong way in later years, and it killed the pub basically, and then it later burnt down, which look, a lot of these old pubs burnt down, and I often wonder whether they burnt down for a reason, whether they weren't all accidental fires, if you catch my drift. Anyway, long story short, this pub has been, look, it didn't have the longest history, however it has been producing some great stuff over the years, and I tell you what, I think we have missed one. We've got one right here, a beautiful, well, let me zoom in there first before I clean him up, a beautiful old shilling. And now this pub does date to late 1880s through to about the 1930s or 1920s, I'll say, and then it burnt down. So, and it looks as if this coin may have been in the fire. Look at that black tarnish on it. So let's give him a very, very gentle clean, just a very light rub. Don't want to do any damage. 1918, look at that. I reckon he was in the fire. And 1918, beautiful coat of arms, 1 shilling. So how cool is that? How cool. I don't want to go clean him up too much. We don't have any water around us today that I can spot just yet. I've got to venture into the paddock a little bit further yet, find all the wet spots. I'm sure there may be a bit of water sitting here somewhere. Just look at that though. Look at the burnt ash and the tarnish around that coin that is still fixated onto it with the dirt. I do believe that guy went through the fire. What a bloody ripper though. 1918, beautiful 1 shilling, and that is our second coin. We've dug a little bit of rubbish in between walking over here from the tennis courts. however not too much at all. So let's throw him in the pouch with the penny. Some remember in my last video here too, I'll throw up top left corner, we did score a beautiful old Bennington handmade German marble, which were generally made 1870s, 1880s, so it fits once again this pub timeline perfectly. So I'm sort of keen to get over the back there, dig a few holes, and if you just look carefully in the dirt, you never know what is going to pop out, especially a bright blue Bennington marble. They kind of stand out a little bit, don't they? So anyway, we'll keep our eyes peeled, and we are, as I said, keeping on digging those lower numbers. That guy certainly wasn't a low number. That was a 31 and literally 1 bar of depth sitting on the surface there. So we'll keep digging the lower numbers. If anything high signals come up, we'll also pull them out too. So how awesome was that? A beautiful shilling, and fits this pub's timeline absolutely perfectly. What a ripper. So there is our next target, and look at that, a 21, 22, a few other numbers there. However, look at the depth, 3 bars of depth, which is a great indication that we could be onto something from the old pub site once again. However, that shilling, as I said, was only 1 bar of depth. How I missed him prior, I don't know. However, different coils, different days, different soil, conditions. We have had a lot of rain lately, so the ground is very moist, very wet, and if some will know, or I'm sure a lot will know, basically you go digging after a batch of rain and the ground changes, the signals change. You can hunt a spot over and over and over again for years and think that you've done it all. Go back after a batch of rain, and I tell you what, you'll pluck out a few coins or a few things that you will have missed, I can guarantee you. So those signals just stand out a lot better. Oh, what do we got? Is he a coin? No, that's not a coin. What is it? I think we're going to be tricked here. Just a bit of lead, maybe a bit of melted lead in the fire. So there we go, or a little bit of brass maybe. Doesn't feel like lead. So I think with that orange patina on him, I think he's going to be a little bit of brass or copper there. So, oh, very strong too. Definitely not lead. Lead is soft. You can bend it quite easily, so that's okay. That could have easily been a little coin. Look at that, there's a piece of old glass too from the old pub site. So very cool. We'll pick up what we see, what we find, and the rest that we don't see can stay in the hole, and we'll move on to the next. So there it is, our next find, already out of the plug, already out of the hole, and unfortunately I did miss it on camera, just like the shilling and the penny. I really have not been filming too many live digs today at all. It's nice to be seeing all this stuff coming out though, and to be honest, I am time limited today, so we're just going to try and dig as quick as we can, or as much as we can, as quick as we can. And I'm sort of thinking that I'm around the old dump here now, some of the stuff coming out, and this next find, I think I know what it is already. You can see a little bit of a hint up the top there, which if I zoom in you'll be able to have a look. He's got the little winder up the top there, very hard to see. Let's give him a bit of a clean off on the knee, and you might be able to see a little bit better what I'm talking about. So once he focuses, there he is. So that little winder up the top gives away what this piece is straight away, the old fob watch. What a bloody ripper. So look at all the stuff fixated onto it though. I'm sure it never come out that big or that heavy. That is huge. It's like 2 fob watches stuck together. Really cool though. I don't know whether to try and clean him up a little bit on the side of the shovel, try and scrape a little bit of that dirt away, or is it fixed on there too hard? Maybe wait till maybe wait till we get home and see if we can't clean it without damaging it, and see what it looks like underneath all that dirt and rust. So who knows, maybe 22 karat gold fob watch hiding underneath there. I highly doubt it. So anyway, that is cool. That is really cool. Another old fob watch. We did get another ripper fob watch from here, about a year ago, somewhere over the back here somewhere, which I presume is where, if the pub sat here at the front, I presume all at the back here was where they were dumping off all their rubbish. We found a lot of glass bottles and broken bits and pieces over the years hunting out the back there too. So it sort of all makes sense, doesn't it? So anyway, pretty cool. The old fob watch. Who knows? Maybe that was the publican's fob watch, and he could not tell the time anymore. He didn't know when to open the pub. Maybe he just left it open 24/7 and let all the old drunks come in and have a beer or two and let the horses have a refreshment as they went past. How cool is that? So there's a sound I like to hear. 25, 26, 27. Oh, this better not be a 2-cent coin. And not on the old pub site, that's for sure. Hopefully it's an old silver coin, just ringing up just like a 2-cent coin. 26, 27, 28, 29. That's all numbers you really can't pick. You've just got to dig those signals. So I tell you what, look at that. There we go. We nailed him in one, didn't we? We did not even need the pinpointer. That is an old sixpence. It's going to be a coat of arms sixpence, an Australian coat of arms sixpence. We nearly walked straight past him too. To be honest, I was nearly going to go back to the car and grab something to eat. So let's try and clear that dirt away. Let's have a bit of a look-ski. Oh, wow. Shilling and a sixpence now and a penny. We have dug quite a bit of rubbish to get that in between targets. You know, nothing really coming out exciting apart from the coins so far and the beautiful old fob watch. However, look at that. That makes my day. That makes it all worth the while coming down here. It's about 50 minutes from home, this site. Every time I come down here though, I know it is going to produce something special anyway, so including a ton of silver coins. Wow, that is awesome. I can't yet see a date. Looks like 1920 something, which would suit that coin there being a coat of arms, Australian little sixpence. So how special. We have found a couple of English pennies and English threepences and shillings here before. As not to say there's not a couple more hiding here. I had no idea I would snag two wonderful silvers within the first hour. It is 12:30 at 12:37 on the watch. So I am thinking what I'll do, let's just throw that pinpoint in there quickly just to make sure. You never know what else is hiding in the hole. Basically what I was thinking though, the church it sits right beside us here. I've never really done that properly. The quick minute that I did do in there one day with the boys, just off the ramp there leading into the church, there's a doorway right there on the church and a little side ramp leading off, and just off the side ramp, the footpath there, we snagged a wonderful coat of arms shilling. I can't remember what year, 1912 or something like that. Quite an early one. However, I did not have to work all that hard for it. It just popped out of the ground straight away. So look, we might get over there with the 6-inch coil. I may do a little bit more in the pub paddock here first, seeing as though it has produced quite well this morning, and go grab some lunch, and then for the afternoon, who knows, we may spend a little bit of time around the church there and see if we can hit on a few wonderful old coins. We've got an 18 and a 19 on this next target. We've already got the hole open, as you can see. We're just hoping for a gold sovereign at those numbers. 18 is generally a full gold sovereign, or a bullet, or a bit of lead, or something else. A little bit of rubbish is generally the case. So I've never found a gold sovereign at an 18. However, I have plucked out a half gold sovereign at a 15 on the Equinox 800 there. So numbers don't change. If you've got an Equinox 600 or 800 or Vanquish, 540, 440, 340, the target ID numbers do not change. A 15 being a half gold sovereign and an 18 being a full gold sovereign. So keep that in mind. You're hunting the old sites like this. A lot of the lower numbers can be trash. If you're on an old pub site like this, or an old race course, or out in the goldfields, somewhere where it has that real good timeline and it suits the history for the gold sovereigns to be here, well then, I reckon you got to dig out all those lower numbers, and especially concentrating on the 15s and the 18s, because I tell you what, when the gold sovereign pops out, you will be over the moon, absolutely over the moon, ecstatic. So anyway, what we're going to do now, I'm overheating. I'm running a little bit hot here. I've got two jumpers on, so I need to go over to the car, grab a jumper off, and grab something to eat. And then what we're going to do, we're going to leave the 6-inch coil on, and we're going to work outside along the road side of the pub here, and make our way over to the church grounds and do a little bit of detecting over there with the 6-inch coil. We also need to change over the shovel and grab the little hand digger, something a little bit more discreet as we make our way along the road and also as we dig around the outside of the church. I just do not like using a whopping big shovel, you know. Great to use a shovel. I'd prefer to use a shovel, however, not in public places and not at an old church, that's for sure. So anyway, lunchtime now, swap digging tools over, and we will see you over at the church. Rightio, so just starting back from lunch there, just a quick bite to eat. It is 1:15 on the watch, and we've just been running up along the fence line, up along the roadside here, as mentioned there before lunch, what we were going to do, and make our way towards the old church. I keep calling it a hall. It's not a hall, it's a church. Anyway, we've got our first target running up along the fence here, along the road, and look at that, another beautiful 1 penny Commonwealth of Australia there. So let's give a bit of a rub off on the jeans, just see if we can see a date quickly. I don't think we're going to be able to. Maybe a 1926, I think I can see. But look, all these coins that we found today so far. Oh, someone put a scratch in the back of him. I wonder who that was. All these coins found here today though so far, and the old fob watch will be cleaned up at the end of this video, and we're going to go through and give you a look at them all cleaned up together. So onwards now, continuing along the roadside. We cannot cover all this in one swing. We really need to sort of go up along the fence and then back along the road. So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of zigzagging as I go, trying to cover the best ground, but sticking more closely to the roadside, as I suspect that's where majority of the coins will be, on the right hand side, probably not on that on the left hand side near the fence there. And once we get out in front of the pub there, past this fallen down tree, we will be spending a little bit of time and working both sides before we make it to the church, because as you can imagine, out the front of the pub there, it could be the most productive spot of this whole strip. So let's see how we go. We've got our next target, a 16 and a 17. It looks to me like a little half penny, and we've just turned the corner too. We've just got around the corner from out on the road, and we have, if I spin you around, we have the church directly behind us. So pretty much just entered the church grounds, haven't we? And we picked up our first coin. How awesome is that? Little half penny. I am sort of thinking 16, 17. I'm sort of thinking it may be an English. So let's, oh look at that, it is too. A Seed of Britannia on the back there. I was going to say, let's have a look and see what date it is. Although I'm not quite sure we're going to get a date just yet. He should be underneath the Britannia there, the Seed of Britannia. So let's have a bit of a look. It's probably going to be a 1900 something. Oh, very close, 1890 something. So who knows, maybe late 1890s. Putting it close to the 1900s. It's very hard to see. Oh, I think that's 1899. Look at that. Almost 900. So awesome stuff. Our first English coin, a 1/2 penny, Seed of Britannia, 1899. I'm a little bit shaky at the camera, or I'm having trouble seeing it through the camera. However, as I said, one more for us to clean up and show at the end of this video. I can't wait to clean that fob watch up either. That little bit of a gold top, a little dial on the top, it's got me intrigued with how much rust and everything else that's covered in there. It's definitely got me intrigued. So something's biting me. I don't know what that was, probably a bull ant. Look at that though, you can see the coin impression on the end of the shovel there from where we plucked him out of the ground. So awesome stuff. I'll see if I've got bull ants on me. I don't think I do. And we're going to keep going around to the ramp where we found that shilling and see if we can't have a little bit more success. We've got our next cracking signal. Listen to that guy, 30, 31, oh, a few numbers on the screen, 29, 28, even going down to a -3. Mixed in is a bit of rust, I think. So I'll just say quickly, I love doing this, you know, it's amazing. I've got a pretty good memory, I feel, and I love being able to share these stories. As some will remember, I was hunting right here in this paddock, and an old bloke from church, he come over to me and he was curious about what I was doing. And we got talking right at that fence post there for about probably 10-15 minutes. I showed him some of the stuff that I'd found in the pub paddock here, coins and relics and what have you. He absolutely loved it. And I pretty much walked away from him, walked away from about 2 meters away from that fence post there. And bingo, we scored ourselves a beautiful, beautiful English threepence. So plus a shilling also come out from the other side of that fence there. a really old, early type English shilling too. So anyway, long story short, we're on the other side of the fence now, and I have done just very quickly, very briefly in here. However, that is a signal that I've missed. And with what come out on the other side of the fence, as I said, the old English silvers, what's this one gonna be then? That's what gets me excited. You hunt these places for years on end, and you know what you found in certain places. So when you go back there, you know, a change of coil or change of day or a change of attitude even, you know, some days you're just not feeling it. And when you go back there and you hear these signals and you think, oh hell, I had good success a couple of meters away, what's going to be on this side of the fence? And remember, the fence was probably never there. The church, you know, you'd probably roll out of the pub there drunk and walk straight over to church and commit all your sins, or try and redeem all your sins anyway. So really cool. Just love sort of thinking all that sort of stuff, you know, the timeline and the history of this area and some of the stuff that we've found here in the past. It all just paints a really cool story and a really cool picture and all memories that you can hang on to. And as I said, I love sharing. I love being able to share all these stories and the places I go and the finds that I have and the stories that I either make, create or hear along the way. So not so much make and create stories, things that just happen to me. So very cool, very cool. Where is this guy? He's hiding. Hopefully we're not blanking out on a bit of rust there. Although that could be a nice old silver coin. Let's have a look. Fingers crossed. I want to see silver. And I want to see an old early English silver. That's not a silver coin. I was going to say, or is it a huge pendant commemoration coin? No, it's an old cog. Look at that. Look at that. I wonder if, I'll zoom in there, you'll be able to see better. I wonder if that was related to the pub there, or maybe, who knows, related to the church right in front of us there. So no writing, no detail on it. You can see a little cog wheel on the outside. I dare say that come out of an old clock. Possibly a clock. I'm not too sure. Not too sure. It's quite a big cogwheel though, isn't it? How awesome would that have been if that was a coin, like a big commemoration coin, or some will remember the big 5 shilling coin that I found there hunting, I think the start of this year, which is another site that I need to get back to again and cover again. So that is bloody awesome. And if you think the little 6-inch coil cannot pick up deep targets, well, that there was a great example. I know it was quite a large target. However, that would have easily picked it up at that depth if it had been a little coin also. I have no doubt. So anyway, let's continue on. As I said, we got the shilling right near the ramp coming out from the door there. That is where I'm sort of aiming to head over to and work that whole area under the trees. So let's see how we go. Still hunting beside the fence line. This could be our silver, the one that I was just speaking about. The fact that we did so good in the paddock beside us. I'm just still running up along this fence line, just thinking there's got to be more. There has to be more, and we're going to find it. So next signal here, nice high one once again. I don't think it's going to be another cog, grandfather clock cog. I don't know that's what it was. However, that's what I'm saying it is anyway for now. So if you do have a suggestion of what it will be sure to throw it in the comments, because I'd love to hear it. If you found anything similar in the past before yourself, as I said, drop a comment below, as I always love reading them and replying. So let's have a look what we got in this one. I don't even think we're going to be anywhere near it yet. Look at that, we're not either. We need to go down quite a way. Those tree roots were basically interfering with that dig. So I just sort of thought I would see if we could hit on him with the pinpointer first. So let's get all this dirt out of the hole. We've got some very interesting stuff coming up very soon too for the Dig Detecting channel, YouTube channel. That's about all I can say. But look, really exciting stuff, like phenomenally exciting. So I cannot wait to share and give you guys a look at what's going to go on. You're going to love it, absolutely love it. So, oh dear, I know what we've got in here. Just by the way the dirt clod is sitting and that little crack hiding there. Let's peel him apart. Oh, there he is. there he is. Now, what were we saying about the story along the fence line? Oh, this is why having a good memory, visiting these sites time and time again, you know, it really pays off. So as I said, we did so well in this paddock, and not just so much in the paddock in general. It's a huge paddock, more so up along this fence line, and I kept that in mind. Coming back here today, I thought, right, before I leave, that is one place that I want to attack. And look at that, I think he's an Australian, little Australian sixpence, coat of arms, and he is too. I seen George there hiding on the back. Look at the coin impression too. Isn't that just beautiful? That coin has been sitting there in those dirt impressions for the last, what, 100 odd years. Let's try and get a date, and we may know a little more. But look, that's just fascinating. I think, you know, this is what detecting is all about. Research, history, and then going out and having fun and unearthing it, so, and learning too. 1942, a little sixpence with a D on him, so means that he was minted in Denver there. So I will say that I would presume would be related to the church, being in the church grounds here. Remember, the fence was probably never there, or it was probably a post and rail fence at best. However, I don't think this is related to the pub. Just seeing though the fact that it burnt down, as I said, in the early 1900s. So 1942, little silver sixpence up along the fence line, where we had such good success there in the paddock beside, and here we are having success on the other side of the fence too. So let's have a look at that coin impression just quickly. That wind's starting to pick up too. We are in for some pretty hectic weather over the next couple of days, so very cool. Love the coin impressions, can't keep them. We'll set that aside there. I think I can see something cool in the hole, which I thought was a marble. No, it's just a little quartz stone. Never mind. Anyway, let's keep going. As I said, that wind is starting to pick up, and we're going to have a lot of rain coming from this afternoon and tonight and following over the next few days. So we really need to make the most of today's dig before the weather gets too bad. So onwards and towards that ramp we go. Guess where we are? Right beside the ramp. Look at that. We made it, finally. Just the other side of that ramp too, I will say, is where I got the shilling. We're working this side of the ramp just for now, and I got a 16 and a 17 on the Equinox 800 there. And to be honest, there's not too many pull tabs that get dropped around the old churches. 16 and a 17 is generally what you get if it is a pull tab. However, look at that. We've also got a little silver sixpence, or a little silver threepence I should say. I'm getting my coins mistaken. That is a threepence, and it's also going to be a little wheat threepence. So just due to the fact that it rang up at a 16 and a 17. So let's turn that pinpointer off. Noisy bugger, isn't he? A 1950 I think I can see there. We'll give him another clean up. Oh, 1959. I was a little bit wrong there. However, that all makes sense. 1959, a little wheat threepence there, and he would have been dropped down to only 50% silver as opposed to 92.5, which would have rang up a lot higher. So 16, 17 around the old churches, around the old halls. You got to dig them, because I tell you what, it may be a pull tab. However, it's probably more likely to be a little wheat threepence, just ringing in at a lower number there due to the lower silver content. So pinpointers off into the pouch. Let's continue on around to the other side of the ramp here and see if we can't get so lucky with another silver coin. And another one as we make our way over towards the toilets. Look at that. They're just coming out like chook feed now, aren't they? Thick and fast. I dare say this is also going to be an old English penny. So that makes a half English penny now, and also a full English penny. A little bit hard to see what's going on there though. Just on the back there we can see Edward though. So I dare say he's going to be, as I said, a 1900s penny. So we could almost go into the toilet there and give him a quick clean up. I do think we've got water accessible to us there, so we might have to do that. Otherwise, we will show this guy once home, all cleaned up, and probably be able to get an ID and a date off him there. As I said, you can see Edward's head on the back. There he is, Ed's head. Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. So Old Britannia, I think we'll leave him for a mystery coin once home though. Okay, so just going back 2 paces, we just got the old penny out of there, which I suspect has got King Edward on the back and is an old Britannia. And going back 2 paces, as I said, just walking back that little bit, I always do that too. Fill my hole in, walk back a metre, and re-swing, recover, re-go over that ground again. Anyway, look what it's gave us. We've got another coin, or what I suspect is another coin down there. Here was a nice enough signal. He's in line with the last coin, so why not? Let's give him a dig, and let's see what we can get. Who knows, maybe a penny, or maybe another silver coin. Maybe a pocket knife. No, that's what I thought I just seen, or part of a pocket knife. Maybe not. He's still there. Let's go a little bit deeper, shall we? I thought I had him in the back wall. He's still deeper instead. See if we can get pop that digger underneath him. I love the Tiger digger there. It's got some great depth, so you know you can really get in the hole there. Still pull that target out without worrying about damaging it. So where did it go? Oh, see that? I was wondering where he was. I think we'd pushed him up higher, and as I was flicking the pinpoint around there, he dropped out. He was pushed out with the pinpointer. So 2 steps back, we got a full penny first, and now we've got a half penny. Who knows? Maybe they were dropped out of the same pocket. Someone coming out, as I said, rushing back to church, out of the toilets there, and dropped their coins. This guy is an Australian, a Commonwealth 1/2 penny. Who knows, maybe a 1923. Wouldn't that be nice? One of the most rarest half pennies you can find. Oh, I'm wearing the jeans out. Tell ya, look at that, nearly got a hole in this guy. I love the FXD pants, so as you'll see I wear these all the time. I got about 6 pairs, so I'm not a Simpson character. I don't wear the same clothes every day. They are different clothes, just the same brand. So anyway, really cool, half penny in the pouch, 1923, fingers crossed. We'll find out once we get home. That was bloody awesome too. A good reason why you should always fill your holes in and step back a metre and just check over that same ground. I'll show you exactly what I do. Stand up, fill the hole in, move all the gear out of the way. Our target was just here, just under our feet. So we got him there. I would ideally stand back about a metre and run over all that ground as if I had not even been over it before, and just making sure that I had not missed anything, which I haven't. So let's go on to the next. Okay, so we have our very last target. The hole is already opened up, a 2021 on the Equinox 800 there, and I've lost it. Oh no, I have not. There he is there, hiding off to the side. Look at that, our last target, and look what we are finishing with. Another cracker little silver coin. A 2021 this guy was ringing up too, so I dare say he's a wheat threepence. I can't see a date. However, I dare say he's going to be prior to 1946, as we spoke about there before. 50 or after 46, up into the 50s, what have you, they turned the silver down to 50%, or they basically reduced the silver down to 50%, trying to work out what to say. There we have it though. This guy is a 1944 little threepence. I'll just show you too. We'll throw him on the dirt there. We'll move our tools out of the way, and I'll just show you exactly what I mean. So 22 solid. Now he's on the surface. He was a 2021 jumping around in the hole there. So the later threepences ring up at a 16, 17, and the earlier threepences, the 92.5% silver, they ring up a lot higher, a 2021, and as you've seen there on the screen, even a 22. So 1944 little wheat threepence into the pouch, and as mentioned, that is going to finish us off. We've had a phenomenal run on the silvers too, haven't we? We've only got, what, 2 or 3 pennies, 2 pennies and 1/2 penny, and about 4 or 5 little silver coins. And I'm certain if I stayed here for a little bit longer, working under these trees, I could probably snag a few more. So anyway, that is about it for us today though. As I said, it is 10 past 2. I need to go get the boys from school. We also need to get all the way over to the car, pack up our gear, and as I said, drive home. So that's what we'll do. We'll clean up everything once there, and we will see you at home with all our finds laid out, ready to give you a look. Okay, so welcome back there, guys. We have you in the back room this time. All the finds laid out on the bench, ready to go. I must say too, the detecting finds we've got here, that was about a week ago now. I've just been so flat out. There's so much on my plate, so much going on lately with work, detecting, and our event and everything. So it's amazing. So anyway, let's start you off with the trash. We have our good finds to the right. We also have some stuff on the left here we're going to get to and show you also stuff that you have not seen before and I think is pretty cool and well worth sharing. So all our miscellaneous rubbishy items coming out in the container here. Look, that's part of a horseshoe. We've got the old fob watch that didn't fare too well upon cleaning him, trying to knock him apart a little bit, knock all the junk off him, and basically just fell to bits and pieces. So never mind, not to be. That's just how it is sometimes. So we've got the old spoon. He's pretty cool. I'll clean him up and keep him. He's not a trashy, rubbishy item. He's just in there for the time being. So let's take you from the trash over to the treasure, and let's start you down with the pennies to begin with. So look, I will say this site too, you can just see the state of the pennies. The copper coins do not really fare too well down in this area. About 6 months of the year, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s also, about 6 months of the year, this town was just cut off. It's just such a wet flooding area. So funnily enough, as I said, the coins do not fare too well down in this area. So it's just a very wet area 6 months of the year. It's just cold and wet. So anyway, little 2-cent coin there. And moving over, we had the miscellaneous item that I found hunting out in the paddock. I wasn't quite sure what it was, but there he is. He's a little button. However, I don't think it's so much as a button, more like a dress hem weight. And you find them in all different sizes. You know, this is quite a small one. However, there you can see the 2 holes where they would be sewing it into the bottom of the dress as a hem weight. So let's move you up to the best stuff. Let's move you up to the silver coins. We've got a 1944 wheat threepence, a cracker little wheat threepence. And we'll jump over to this side, to the other wheat threepence. We've got a later one, a 1959. All these silvers were cleaning up so nice too, considering the way they were coming out of the ground. Beside that guy is a 1942, a sixpence. I can just see the D on there for Denver, where he was minted over in America, supplementing our coins during the war, World War II there. And this guy is a 1925. And the middle one, as you can see, 1 shilling, early coat of arms, 1918. And this is the one that we found directly over the top of the pub. And he had a lot of that burnt, tingy patina on him. So he cleaned up quite nice. I know some out there are probably thinking, why do you clean your coins? You shouldn't clean your coins. Well, look, they're only for my collection anyway, so I don't mind. So let's put that aside now. Let's move the rubbish over. Let me take a breath. And as I said, let's get over to our last hunt there that we did with Chris. Now, I've sort of broken this up into 2 actually, in actual fact. Down below was a day that we spent in the goldfields with Chris and even Luke from Instagram. His name is idigthat73. Be sure to give him a look. I'll throw him up top left corner there, and be sure to follow him and check out his finds. Amazing, just like Chris detecting Sydney on Instagram. So I had a ripper of a time with Chris there on this day up the top, and we'll move down and speak about the ones down the goldfields there below. So I'll just say, Chris and I went to one site, we jumped to another site, we went to a rec reserve. We didn't really have that much success, 1 and 2 cent coins, $1 and $2 coins, and nothing else really coming out of the ground. I don't think I'd ever worked so hard for a pre-decimal coin that day. However, on our way home, we thought, right, we'll just stop at this hall quickly. We were literally just passing it. We passed it on the way down to the other sites, and we were eyeing it off, and we thought, right, we'll get to it on the way home. So that's what we did. We worked around the hall. The hall was in the middle, and Chris went one side of the hall to the grass area and detected that with no results, little to no results. And I went to the left and had the exact same little success, nothing. I think I maybe dug a 1 cent coin, if that, and not even, and nothing good though. So What we did though, I'll just throw up some pictures top left corner. What we did is we ventured out to the front nature strip where all the people would have been pulling off the main road with their horse and buggies, horse and carts, and even early cars, you know, when cars come about and what have you, pulling off the grass there and parking in front of this hall. And bingo, we started pulling the coins one after another. So just now we've got that out of the way, you'll understand what where all these coins come from, out the front of the hall there on the grass strip. So good good reminder to always, you know, you can do beside the halls, in front of the halls, churches, what have you. Always do the grass strips too, as they are most productive. So 7 pennies, $5 in coins. What do we got? 2-cent coin and 2 1-cent coins, a little buckle, a little pendant, a little silver pendant by the looks there. Really, really cool. He's not marked silver. As Chris said, it would have been on the loop, on the bracelet, that it would have been 925 hallmark. So then what happened was I was hunting beside the power pole, and don't ask me which one of these guys come out first. They're all, as you can see, the exact same date. So hunting beside the power pole, we pulled a few pennies. Next minute I yelled out to Chris, I got a florin, 1946. What a bloody cracker. And I was literally 2 meters off the road and about a meter beside a power pole with my sensitivity turned down just due to the EMI that the power pole was giving off. So look, just trying to hunt around the power pole a little bit with the sensitivity down. Bingo, we hit our first florin. About 5 minutes later, we hit our second florin. Seems to be a run of 1946s on this day. And then only minutes later, and ground that Chris had just went over, and he said, mate, just go back over the ground that I've just run over. You just never know. And we sort of swapped ends. And bingo, I got another one. Look at that. And a 1946 once again. I found, you know, like I think I've found about 10 florins in a day is my best. They've never ever been running dates like that. 3 in a row 1946s. So I know they minted a lot in that year. However, I've never, as I said, it's just so uncanny to find 3 within what, 15-20 minutes of each other and all the same date. So also coming out was a little 1963 sixpence there. And what a bloody beauty he is. Absolutely great condition. He looks like he was probably just dropped out of the mint. He come out of the mint and put in someone's pocket and dropped the day after. So lovely coin, lovely coin. Let's move you down here. Let me take another breath and let's start, well, let's finish, I should say, with our last finds. Now, day out in the goldfields there with Chris and Luke, as I said, detecting Sydney, and I dig that 73 on Instagram. Be sure to give them a look and check them out and follow them, and you'll be able to check out some of their finds that they had also for those days hunting. So my best find, as you can see, is the old Navy Anchor 2-piece belt buckle. It's only one piece that we've got here. However, there would have been a loop this piece would have slotted into and locked into place. So absolutely a beautiful buckle with the Navy Anchor design and the rope. And I can just imagine someone coming off the ship and basically running for the goldfields and having this with them and losing it. And there we go, finding it some 150 years on. So that is why I love detecting. That is why I love taking people out and seeing what they can also find as well, and sharing my finds as I go. So, and that is why I also love shooting and sharing for you guys to view on YouTube. So very, very cool. I really enjoyed my time there with Chris and Luke, and I hope to get out detecting again with them in future. And I'm sure we're going to hit on plenty more finds. So that's about it for us today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like, comment, subscribe button below, and we will be back hunting again very soon, and I really look forward to seeing you there. So cheers, guys. Happy hunting, and we will catch you next time.